Hi friends, this is the first video I'm making on how I do my song covers using my KORG PA1000 arranger keyboard. I do mostly covers of Indian film songs. So I took a small tiny sample of a current Tamil song that I'm working on, and I made the arrangement for it on the KORG PA1000 keyboard, which I will explain in a little bit. But first, hear the original clip, and then I will play the clip I made on my keyboard corresponding to that. All right? Here we go. So now what you just heard in the original clip has guitar, violin, trumpet, drums, congos, bongos, and some other percussion type instruments in it. I found similar sounding instrument sounds on the keyboard, and the chord arrangement is F, C, B flat, C7, F, C, B flat, and it's kind of repetitive there. So I arranged the whole chord sequence and all of the pads and sounds and style and all that together, and this is what I came up with. It's close enough sounding to the original piece. Hear this out. This song is in the key of G minor at a tempo of 111 BPM, and the style I selected is classic mambo from Latin family, and instruments I selected was xylophone, clarinet, movie strings, violin, and single coil pro guitar. Those were the four instruments that I used here. And I also picked four pads, the drum solo and couple of other drum pads and so on. Four pads that add value to this piece. All right. So about the very first thing I do is to set up the style, tempo, instruments, and I select the chord sequencer. Play the sequence of chords, just humming the tune in my head. I won't play the instruments yet. So I just lay down the chords with all these other settings, and then I save it in the songbook as a new song under that name. That's about the very first step that I do. All right. It does save the pads, but when you play it back, it does not automatically play the pads. You have to press them to get the pads on. I couldn't figure out how to auto sequence the start of that pads as well, along with the rest of the music. But it's not too bad. It does save the pad sequence that I created along with that style and instrument settings and all that. So that whole setup is saved for me, including the chord sequence. All right. Then I go into the sequencer mode. Okay, from the style play, I switch to sequencer, And there I go and select in the sequencer mode. When I go to record, I select the backing sequence quick record option. Okay, and there I start to record pieces of the prelude. The very first thing is the guitar. That piece I played first, and then I stop. Then I switch to recording multi-track sequencer mode because I want to add the other instruments one by one. Okay, right behind the first piece that I played along with the the backing sequence option. So all this while, the style is retained, the keyboard set of instruments that I selected is retained, the chord progression that I saved in my songbook is retained, the tempo is retained, everything is coming straight off of my songbook except for the voices or the sounds that I'm playing, the instruments that I'm playing here in this sequencer mode. So I record piece by piece by going into that multi-track sequencer mode, and then at the end of it, when I'm satisfied with the whole sequence, I save it, this time not in the songbook but as a song in the library. And once I save it, when I exit out and come back anytime, that song is there up to the point where I recorded. I pick up the thread from there and continue recording other pieces of the puzzle and put it all together at the end. Sometimes I decide to do the entire chord sequence for the whole song from beginning to end and book it with the, save it in the book, all right, along with style and other settings. And then I start to put pieces one by one in the sequencer mode, okay? So all this takes me quite a while though. It takes a few weeks. I do piece by piece, not all at once. And until I'm totally satisfied, I don't release it to my YouTube channel. I keep playing around with it, editing, changing instruments, copying bits and pieces from one part of the string to another part of the string of the song, and so on, to see the effects produced by the total set of sounds that I created comes out as close to the original as I possibly can get it to sound like. Okay, so that's the gist of it. You'd have to play around with it and get familiar with how KORG keyboard works. It is a fascinating piece of equipment. I mean, it's been 1.5 years I've been playing around with this, and still there's so much that I have to learn about how to do things on this keyboard. It's just a fantastic piece of equipment. You'll love it if you own one of these. What I own is a KORG PA1000, but there are many other models that do similar things. All right, try it out. Enjoy.